Well, you cleared the brush, you built your water control structure, you prepared the seed bed, you bought the seed, and now it's July and you're sweating your butt off and you want to know if your waterfowl impoundment is going to make any food for you. Now's when you start to see. So stick with me and check it out. I'm Bruce, and you're watching Fowl Play Outdoors. Well, here we are in the bean hole, or the little hole, or can't really call it the bean hole anymore because it doesn't grow beans up there. But it is late July, July 28th, 2025. We have left water on this almost continually since last season. It's fluctuated up and down. I did pump once, I think. We've got a couple of floods, but the goal was to keep water on it until right now. And then we're going to put Japanese millet. Picked up the seed today at Triangle Pond Management in Raleigh, North Carolina. And I'm going to see if old Tommy Boy can come out here with me tomorrow. He's got 4 gallons of glyphosate we mixed up a while back that we didn't use. So we want to come in here and round up this. We want to drain the water, and that's what I'm getting ready to do right now. We want to round up this, and then we'll throw millet seed right behind it. I've done that. I did that in here last year, a year before, where I round upped it, and it had grown up much more because I had drained it in early spring. So there's going to be a lot of mud out there when we drain it, and we'll just round up it and then throw the millet seed out. Japanese millet seed on a mud flat is about as perfect as you can get as far as conditions for getting that stuff to germinate. It's a little bitty tiny seed. If it sits on mud, it will germinate. And we're also going to fill in some of the bare spots. If you recall, I'd used 2,4-D to take out some of our broadleaf weeds in some places. So we're going to go into those spots and the other bare spots we see and throw out some Japanese millet as well. Late July, takes about 60 days, 2 months for that stuff to mature. So by end of September, assuming we don't get some crazy early frost, which won't happen, and assuming that the army worms don't cut it down like I think they did last year, we don't get some stupid flood like we did last year, you know, Armageddon kind of stuff, we should be in pretty good shape. So let me step over here and I will show you how I drop my drainage pipe. Super simple way to control water. This one's been in place for about 4 years. It's the first one I did, and it has given me 0 problems. So I'll find a place to set you down and show you how I do this, just in case you've never seen it before. All right, you guys that have been with me for a while know how I control my water, but if you're new to Fowl Play Outdoors, this is an idea I came up with a few years ago. This is basically a 4-inch corrugated drain pipe, not perforated like you might get for a drainage tile that you'd bury to keep water from pooling in your yard. It's solid. This was a small beaver dam that the beavers have had here for as long as I've been coming out here. We cut a hole in it. Tom came out. We cut a hole through it, cut a trench through it, dropped this in place, and then filled it back in. And I can hold water by simply pulling this up. I've got some one of the insulators out of a piece of Romex. I just wrap around a tree and tie it off. And then when I'm ready to drain it, I just drop this down, and it works great. This stuff floats, so be aware of that if you do that. A couple of things that it's nice about, if like I had one over on the other side when the creek was higher to let water in. Beaver dam blew out, creek's not as high, they don't work anymore. But what was cool is I would leave this side over there, what amounts to this side that was on the impoundment side, just laying there, and when the creek would fill up, then it would, you know, it would drain water in. If something happened and the creek goes down, then this will float up and not let water run back out the other way. It's almost kind of has a one-way functionality. However, since it floats, that does mean that the side that you want to stay underwater does need to be somehow held down. I've got a stick I stuck in there, I think 4 years ago. Same stick's been holding it in the water. I've used some rebar over the other side. You could maybe probably stick it through a center block or something, but you do need the side that you want to stay submerged. You do need to somehow hold it down. So it's time to drain this guy. Hopefully we'll get out here tomorrow and plant it. But this is so easy to do. I hear water sloshing around. And you would think picking this up, if it's got water coming through, it would be heavy. Would be hard because it would be heavy. It's not. As you start lifting it, the water just runs back out that way. And that's it. It just becomes simple plastic pipe. So here's what I'm going to do. Pull this over here. Drop it down. And I'll let you watch. And we have water. And no more water that is in here. This will be, heck, this might be drained as much as it'll drain by this evening. It'll definitely be drained as, whoa, there is a fish. Huh, I guess he just got sucked out of the pipe. Oh, there he is right there. It's like a catfish, about a 4-inch catfish. That's pretty funny. Well, he's gonna have a bad day. But anyway, so that's all it takes. That holds water in, and now it's draining out nicely. And in a day, or a few hours, really less than, at full, when this is full, it'll drain in a day. So as it is now, it'll definitely drain out in just a few hours, really, because it's pretty low. So that's it for the bean hole. Let's walk around and see. Check on the status of our duck groceries that are over in the big hole. Well, we got duck food in here, and coming on strongly. Right here in front of me, I've got Chihuahua millet, which I don't know if that's stuff that I planted this year. Probably, no, it shouldn't be. It's volunteer from last season. The barnyard grass I planted is right there. This stuff here, which I think is panic grass. More barnyard grass here. Some of it, I found one over here. Let's see. Yeah, this guy's already kind of starting to shed seeds. So that's interesting. Let's walk on down through here and just take a look at what the situation is. There's some little millet right here. This is probably the barnyard grass. Stuff doesn't grow well on the edges. I think the soil stays a little drier. Probably stays shaded more. But yeah, the Chihuahua millet is growing strongly. This is a lot of barnyard grass here. This may only be, I thought I did put some, yeah, this is the Chihuahua here. So I got Chihuahua and barnyard grass growing together. Like I said, the Chihuahua millet takes 120 days to mature. All right, here's some more barnyard grass popping up in the middle of it. That looks like good barnyard. Those tall ones are barnyard grass, probably from last year, since there's seed heads right there. Look at that giant seed head. That guy looks awesome. Look at that. That's way better than Jap millet. But look at all this barnyard grass here. Gosh. If this continues, we're definitely going to have food, and pretty minimal on the non-desirables. I do have some broadleaf weeds. I kind of left it alone right in front of the blind. I think I mentioned it once before. I left it alone in front of the blind. Even let that tree grow up right there. We'll just cut it off so it's not in our way. But you always stomp around in front of your blind. There's another big head of Chihuahua. You always stomp around in front of your blind, so why mess with planting stuff? There's an absolutely gigantic head of Chihuahua millet. That's what it's supposed to do right there, folks. That's why we plant that as opposed to Japanese millet. I don't think you'll see a head like that on Japanese millet at all. Let's walk on, keep on walking through. This is just really looking great. As long as we don't get a cataclysmic flood. 2,4-D on the buckbrush does appear to help. I like that. We even got some, this is going to be just the natural smartweed that grows here. Barnyard grass. That looks like native barnyard grass. You notice I pointed this out in a previous video. You notice it doesn't have the hairy seeds like those other ones did. So this is native stuff here. There's some more panic grass. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, if that's not panic grass. Killed some buckbrush here. So this will be the places where we come in here, hopefully tomorrow, and just sprinkle that, I'm hot, I can't think, Japanese millet on top of that. And it'll just fill in these spots, you know, and we'll just have more food. But all through here, I'm not gonna walk out through there. That's a lot of Chihuahua millet, holy smokes. Don't forget, we did fertilize with 100 pounds of 1717, I think. That sounds about right. But getting back in here, this is where I did try to kill off some kind of, broadleaf stuff killed it, but it was just kind of a grassy thing. I may bring a rake and just rake this up some. But look, we've got millet popping up in the middle of it where I had thrown some seed out, and it did grow through this stuff. But I'll come into these areas probably with a rake, just real quick with a garden rake, and just to expose the ground and get that millet a chance to get seed to soil contact. This is the section here that Tom weed-eated. I guess it's coming back. It's gonna make some seeds. These seed heads already look like they're dropping stuff. Interesting. But everything's on track. We're really in that, you know, kind of, you did what you can do, now you wait phase. Like, other than, like I said, we're throwing out a little bit of extra Japanese millet this week, just to sweeten the pie. Here's where I hit some stuff with the 2,4-D as well. That looks like crabgrass, or what's that other stuff, alligator grass? With the word grass in the name, it's probably not going to be killed. I know crabgrass is not killed by 2,4-D. You need a product called quinclorac, which I don't want to spray on the millet. And this is great bare dirt. It doesn't get a lot of sun. I'll throw seed down on it. It may not do anything. Hopefully we will get some rain after that. I mean, this is soft, but I would love, perfect case would be come in here in the morning, throw the seed down, and then this afternoon just get a little soaking rain for about 30 minutes. Not enough to wash it away, but enough to definitely soak that seed into the soil a little bit. There we go. Here's one of these Japanese or Chihuahua millet. I hope this stays on the stalk until the season. That one probably will. I mean, I just don't want it to, I don't want it to fall on the ground now and sprout. Right, it's no good to me if it sprouts. I mean, we're probably not talking but a few dozen seed heads anyway, so maybe I shouldn't worry about it. But looking good here, so I guess next step will be to come out here and round up the other spot and throw down Japanese millet. So that'll be next on the list. Well, that's it for today. Just a quick run around just to see what's going on. It's hot. Bugs are getting me. I'm gonna go home and maybe get back in the air conditioning. So stick with us next time when Tom and I get out here and round up weeds and plant more Japanese millet seed here on Foul Play Outdoors.